Hello and welcome back to the lesson. Our last video marks the end of our subject sections where we create the following features such as create subject, manage subject, add subject combination where we assign subject to a class, and also manage subject combination where we manage our subject combination. And in this video we're going to start working on our student section where we will be able to add and manage students into our student result management system. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, as usual, we're going to go ahead and start by creating our student model, migration, and also our student controller. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's head over to our terminal. Let's come down here and then let's go ahead and create our model and migration. Let's say PHP artisan make model. Our model name should be student. Okay, and then our migration, so let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, now our model and migration are successfully created. Let's go ahead and create our controller. So let's go ahead and say PHP artisan make controller. Let's go ahead and create our controller inside of our backend folder as usual. So let's go ahead and say backend. Inside backend, we're going to go ahead and create our student controller. Okay, let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, now our student controller is created successfully. So now let's navigate to our project source code. Okay, let's go ahead and reduce some of the tabs. So add subject combinations, go ahead and close that. Subject model. Okay, classes, manage subject view. Let's go ahead and close that. Subject controller, we're not going to be needed in that. Okay, now we are left with only our web.php file and also our sidebar. So first of all, let's go ahead and work on our migration. So let's come over here. Let's find our database. Under database, we have our migration here. Here is our student migration that we've just created. Okay, our student migration is going to contain the following columns. So let's go ahead and start. Say table, string. Okay, first of all, our student is going to have a name. Okay, let me go ahead and make it nullable, meaning the name column can be empty and no problem. So let's go ahead and copy this. Copy, and our student should have an email. Okay, and our email is going to be unique, not nullable. So let's go ahead and say unique. Okay, meaning no two students will have the same email, so the email is going to be unique inside of our database. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and say our student should have a role ID. Our student should also have a class ID and a date of birth. Okay, let's go ahead and say DOB, date of birth, and also our student will have a photo and gender. Okay, we should specify which gender our student is. And then the last but not least is going to be status. So let me go ahead and type this table. It should be enum, data type, and call status. And then status can either be active or inactive. Like so. And let's go ahead and give a default value. The default one should be active. Okay, so we should go ahead and insert active inside of our database by default. Okay, that's all the columns. That's all the information we wanted to collect from our student. Our student should have a name, email, should have a role ID, class ID, date of birth, photo. Okay, here should be photo. Okay, and gender, and then status. Okay, that's great. So let's go ahead and save our file. Save. And now let's go ahead and work on our student model. Okay, let's come over here to app models for our student model. Okay, let's go ahead and copy our protected, guarded. Let's go ahead and copy this, go to our student model, come down below here, paste it so that all our input fields right here should be fillable. Okay, now let's go ahead and save our file, save all. And now let's go ahead and run our migration. Okay, let's go ahead and say PHP artisan migrate. Okay. Now our student table is created, is successfully migrated. So let's go ahead and take a look inside of our database. Let's go back here. Okay, let's come over here. Let's go back to student result management system database. Okay. All right, here is our student table successfully migrated. Let's go ahead and open that. Yes, as you can see now we have all of our columns that we've created. Right here we have our name, email, role ID. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Name, email, role ID, class ID, DOB, photo, gender, status. Okay, that's great, that's great. So now let's go ahead and start working on the view. Let's go ahead and create our view down below our subject section. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and navigate to our sidebar. Okay, now let's get back here, close our migration because we're not going to need that anymore. Close our model for now. Okay, let's go ahead and navigate to our sidebar. All right, let me go ahead and close this. Okay, now under our subject submenu, under our subject menu, let's go ahead and copy this, our classes. This is our li, so let's go ahead and copy this, come down below this one. Okay, this one ends here, so let's come over here and paste this, and we're gonna go ahead and call this one students. Okay, not student classes, students. And our first submenu here should be add students, so let's go ahead and say add students. Okay, like so. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and save our file, save, and now let's go ahead and take a look inside of our application. Let's refresh our application. Okay, yes, as you can see now we have our student menu right here, and here we have add students. So let's go ahead and work on that. Let's go ahead and create our view, our add student view. So let's go back to our application. First of all, we're going to go ahead and create our route, our add student route. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and say add student. Let's now go ahead and create our route inside of our web.php file. So let's come over here. Okay, here we are successfully done with all of our subject routes. So let's go ahead and copy this. Copy our classes routes, copy this. Let's come down below our subject routes right here and paste this. Okay, now let's go ahead and get rid of the remaining routes because we're going to be populating for the student as well, one after the other. So now first of all, let's go ahead and change our controller here to our student controller. Remember, we've already created our controller, okay, which is right here on the HTTP controllers backend. Here we have our student controller. So we're basically gonna go ahead and change our group controller right here to our student controller. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's close this window. Okay, let's come over here, and now let's go ahead and copy this. Copy. Let's come down below here, paste this, and this time around we're gonna be referencing our student controller. So let's go ahead and say student controller. As you can see, it's right here. Let's go ahead and click that. And now let's go ahead and copy our controller, our student controller, and let's replace this our group controller right here. Paste this to our student controller, and now let's go ahead and copy our route name. Okay, our add student route name. Let's go ahead and copy this. Let's replace this our create class route name to add student. Okay, now let's go ahead and update our URL. Copy this, say add. Copy this student like so, and our method name should also be add student. Okay, now let's go ahead and create our add student method inside of our student controller. So let's go ahead and copy this. Let's navigate to our student controller. Okay, now inside of here, let's go ahead and start by saying public function, paste our method name, and let's go ahead and say end method here, and method like so. And now let's go ahead and return our view, say return view. Okay, let's go ahead and create our view inside of our backend folder, and we're going to go ahead and create a brand new subdirectory called student subdirectory like so. And then inside student, we're going to go ahead and create our view called add student view like so. And inside of our add student view, we're going to be having a list of all available classes that we can assign the student to. So let's go ahead and get all of our classes from our database and then pass it to our view. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and say $classes like so, and let's reference our classes model, classes like so, and then say get. The get method here basically works just like the old method that we've been using earlier. It's going to get all of our classes from our database, and of course we're going to go ahead and load our classes model right here, but I think there's a typo here, so let me go ahead and reduce some of the s's. It's too much. Okay, classes like this, and now let's go ahead and right click on this. Let's go ahead and say import class. Yes, as you can see now, our classes model is imported automatically. So now let's go ahead and pass our classes to our view. So let's go ahead and copy this, copy. Let's come over here, pass it with the compact method, compact like so. Paste this right here, classes. That's great, that's great. Okay, now let's go ahead and create our student directory and then create our view, our add student view inside of our student directory. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and copy this, copy. Let's navigate to our views directory under resources, views. Okay, within the backend folder. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create another directory, new folder, paste our directory name. Let's hit enter. Okay, within our student directory, we're going to go ahead and create our add student view. So let's go ahead and copy this, right click here, new file, paste this, add student view .blade.php. Okay, let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, now let's go ahead and copy our create subject view, which is this view right here, create subject. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this and then begin with that. All right, let's go back to our source code. Let's go to our subject directory and find our create subject view, okay, which is right here. So let's go ahead and copy this, copy all. Okay, let's get back to our add subject view, paste this right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and start working on our header section. So let's go ahead and call this student admission like so, and then here should be student, and here should be admission like so. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's save our file, save all, and let's go ahead and run our PHP artisan optimize command. PHP artisan optimize. Okay, and now let's get back to our application. Let's refresh. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's open our add student view. Yes, as you can see, we are having our view right here that says student admission. Okay, now let's go ahead and start working on our add student form right here. So let's go back to our source code. Okay, our title here should be field student info, and then our first input field here should be for full name. So let's go ahead and say full name like so. Let's go ahead and change the placeholder to full name, copy this, full name, type should be text required, and the name should be full name like so. Okay, and then our second input field should be for role ID. So let's go ahead and say role ID, and our placeholder should also be for role ID like so. Type should be text required, and the name should be role ID like so. Let's go ahead and copy this, paste it down below here. Our third input field should be for email, so let's go ahead and say email, placeholder email like so, and type should be email, name should also be email like so. And now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. Now let's take a look, refresh our page. Alright, that's great. Our full name, role ID, email. Okay, let's go back to our source code. Our next input field is going to be for our class. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. Let's come down here, paste this right here. The level should be for class. And here we're going to be needing a select input tag that will show a list of our classes, just like we have done for our, let me go ahead and take a look here, that says add subject combination. Okay, something like this, a list of our classes inside of our database. So let's go ahead and copy this from our source code. Let's go ahead and find that inside add subject combination. Okay, that's great. Okay, we're going to be needing something like this, a select input tag. Let me take this down back like so. Let's go ahead and copy this. Let's get back to our add student view. Okay, right here inside of our class input container, let's go ahead and replace this our input field. Paste this. Okay, that's great. Okay, it says select a class. Let me go ahead and add a class. Select a class like so. And then here, remember we already passed the classes. We fetch it and pass it to our view right here with the same variable name. As you can see, that's very cool. Classes. Let me go ahead and copy this. Okay, classes right here. Paste this. That's great. Everything will be fine. And now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's get back here to our add student. Okay, let's go ahead and take, yes, as you can see now we are having our classes. Okay, that's great. Our next input field will be for radio button for gender. We're going to be adding a radio button down below here for male and female. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get back to our source code. And then down below here, let me go ahead and copy this. Copy. And after our classes, right here, let's paste this. But here we're going to be adding a radio button. So let's go ahead and say gender. Like so. And let's go ahead and find a radio button inside of our project team. Okay, let's come over here on the forms element. Okay, let's go ahead and use one of the radio button right here. So let's go ahead and right click on this, say inspect. And here, as you can see, we have the label for the radio button and also the input tag for the radio button itself. So let me go ahead and right click on the container that contains both the input field and also the level for the radio button. So let's go ahead and right click on that. Let's say edit as HTML. And now let me go ahead and copy the entire container like so. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. Copy. Let's get back to our source code and replace this right here. Okay, but we're not going to be needing this container. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, same thing with this one. Okay, now let me indent this back small. Okay, let's take it back like so. Okay, level. Let me actually make this in one line. Okay, something like this for the level as well. Okay, that's great. Radio, like so. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's save our file. Save. Let's get back to our application. Let's take a look. Yes, here we have gender and here it says from radio. So let's go ahead and change the level in. Okay, our first level should be for male. So say male like so, and then the name should be gender. We're not going to be needing the ID, but rather let's go ahead and say value. The value should be male like so, and let's go ahead and add for the female as well. So let's go ahead and copy this. come down below here and paste this like so, and this time around is going to be for female, so let's go ahead and say female like so. The value should be for females. Go ahead and copy this, female like so, but the name is going to be gender, and we're going to only make one checked. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. Now let's take a look, refresh our page. Now we have our checkbox for both male and female. Okay, that's great. Alright, let's go ahead and continue with our input fields. Our next input field is going to be for date of birth, or DOB. So let's go back to our code. And now let's go ahead and copy this. Copy. And let's come down below our gender. Like so, and paste this. And the level should be for DOB, date of birth. And here our input field name should be for DOB, date of birth should be required. The type should be date, like so, and placeholder should be the format. Okay, let's go ahead and give it month, day, year, so like so. And now let's go ahead and save our file. Save. Now let's take a look. Okay, yes, we have our DOB date. Okay, as you can see, it gives us the date format. That's great. And our next input field is going to be for the photo, for the student photo. Okay, let's go ahead and add that. Okay, let's come down here, copy this. Okay, paste it right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and call this photo, like so, and the name should be photo. Required type should be file, and our placeholder, we're not going to be needing a placeholder. Okay, like so. And we're going to be needing a preview image down below our photo input field, just like we have for our admins right here. If you come over here to your admin's profile, okay, we're going to have the photo input field and also a preview down here. And we're also going to be implementing the real-time image preview for the add student view as well, so that when we go ahead and select an image, it's going to be previewed in real time, just like this one. So we're going to be doing that. So let's go ahead and navigate to this view and find this code and also implement it to our add student view. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's get back to our project source code. Let's navigate to our admin's profile view. Let's come over here and say admin profile view, which is right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and say view word wrap to get rid of overflow. Now, as you can see, this is our image preview down below here. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. Let me copy this line of code. Copy. Let's get back to our add student view. Down below our image, select input field. Let's paste this. And now let's go back and copy our JavaScript code, which is right here. Let's go ahead and copy everything, get back to our add student view, just paste it down below here like so. And remember, we need to add this our ID, our image ID, to our image select input field. So let's go ahead and copy this. Our image select input field should have an ID of image like so, and then here we have the show image, which is right here. Okay, that's great. Let's go ahead and get rid of the overflow. Let's go ahead and say view word wrap. And this time around, we're not going to be showing any image from our database. So let's go ahead and get rid of this code like so, and this one as well from here to here. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. We basically are only going to be showing our avatar image, which is right here. Inside of our uploads folder, we have an image called noimage.png, which is our avatar image. And of course, our button here should say add student. So let's say add student like so. Okay, now let's go ahead and save our file. Save, and now let's go ahead and take a look. Refresh our application. Now let's get back to our add student view. Yes, as you can see, we have our preview image. Our avatar is displayed. That's very cool. That's very good. Now let's go ahead and check our real-time image preview. Let's go ahead and try to add a picture like so. Yes, it's working perfectly. Okay, that's very cool. We have our full name, role ID, email, our class. Okay, that's great. Male or female, date of birth. Okay, our image preview is working perfectly. Add student. Okay, so friend, that will be it for this video. Hope everything is clear to you, and in our next video we're going to go ahead and start adding our student inside of our database. So hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.